Hello, the English speakers, and here you see the vampire that is in charge of Ukraine, of course, and he has gotten a scarf like the other statues here because it's the warmest day of the year. We will talk a little bit about the news and some other little tip, but let's start by taking a big deep breath and flip the nose on the damn vampire. Leonidas, that's a weapon system, and this weapon system is microwaving drones. So you can have it's a big machine and it sends microwaves and all the drones drop from the sky. So it looks very impressive for this attacking these small non-shielded drones. I don't think it will be that impressive when there is some countermeasures against these. For example, shielding the drones from microwaves, and why not this microwave attack that it's doing, you have to be able to see that from space, so then you can place some missile on this expensive system. And but it's interesting technology. I think we will see more of these energy weapons that are way more potent in the future. Sherlock, that's open source software that you can download. I did that and installed it. It was a lot of problems because of my old Linux system. But what does it do? It traces usernames. So if you want to find official Elf Town and where that is registered, you can use Sherlock, and then you get to know that there is an account official Elf Town in one word on YouTube. There isn't. There is an account on X, but it found a non-existing account on YouTube instead. It does find a lot of my accounts, Hedda Henrik, on a lot of sites that I have, Odyssey, etc. It did not find my Substack, so it's not optimal. But if you see some username somewhere and you want to see if they have maybe a big account on some other platform, it's convenient, and you can do some background check on people when they registered on a site that they have long forgotten about when they were a teenager and post some cringe stuff there. Then you can find them. Sherlock, I have some links on my Substack. Claude Code, they got their code leaked and they tried to rescue it, but now it's all over the distributed internet, so it can't be removed anymore. So you can fiddle with it. And there was some interesting code there where they have names like Tengu accept feedback and Tengu react feedback and Tengu permission react escape. So it's register what you are doing when you are trying to quit the app or press escape or something, and it calls you a tengu, which is this, not a vampire, but exactly the same thing. It's a Jewish monster, very similar to a Jew. That's in Japan. They are described exactly like a Jew, but a monster, or as a monster. Aryans, we love granite, apparently. So Iran, they have built enormous amounts of military bases in the mountains, and we have done the same here in Sweden. Now one of these fortresses under Stockholm, I think, is now a data center for Bahnhof. Bahnhof is my former ISP. Here in Houston we have an equally good but smaller local ISP, and the good thing about these two ISPs is that they are not blocking RT.com that all other ISPs are blocking in the European Union and UK. Not in Norway. Norway can watch even Russian media. So on my Substack you can see a cool image from this Bahnhof computer center. I linked to a 7-minute long video that is explaining the problem that Mossad, and I think all the secret services are having the same problem. So this can explain a lot of the stupid stuff that they do. So Mossad, they were talking to their assets and their operatives in Iran. And of course these people, they say that, yeah, we just have to get some more money, and the Iranian people, they are totally on board. They want foreign money and foreign intervention, and drop some bombs, and then we can really get this revolution going. Because they are living in their own bubble, the operatives that then inform Mossad, that then informed Trump. So it's, yeah, they are really bad at their job, you can say. They basically brainwashed themselves, and this tends to happen when your goal is to fly as much as you can. My job, on the other hand, is to protect you from the wind. I hope I succeed in that. But very good explanation about how that started. Netanyahu in 2025, he was talking some madman talk about Athens and the super Sparta. That is what Israel should become. And now he has gone out. Netanyahu says that this Purim war will transform Israel into a super nation. And already last year he was warning that Israel will be attacked and hated and will not get any weapons from France, because Israel refused to buy any weapons from France that provided them with nuclear stuff once upon a time. It's self-destroying kind of behavior, obviously, and he's a total madman. USA, they are preparing detention systems for all the Iranians that they will take as prisoners of war when they invade it. So that's a bad sign. And I still think that USA were planning to take some islands yesterday, but they got bombed. And they got bombed again today in some places around the Gulf, yesterday in United Arab Emirates. So preparing for an attack is not so fun if you are getting bombed while you are trying to sleep and prepare for the invasion tomorrow. So I think that they got derailed, and there are also some A10 hedgehog getting applied, or warthog, I think. The A10 is, anyway, it's a huge gauntlet machine gun that have some wings and jet engines on it. So it's a big cannon that you use to assist ground troops. You can use it to hunt for example, speedboats and stuff. But it looks like those 18 or 12 at least, they will be used for a land invasion. Larry Johnson, the former CIA investigator or analytic, he says that there will be an attack this weekend on the 3rd, 4th or 5th something, maybe Sunday morning or Saturday morning, as they like to do it. And he also says that this will likely fail, because there are very many things that Iran can do to make any invading force and their lives miserable and short, and how to do logistics and try to provide any kind of support to them. really looks like a bad idea. And some coordinated stuff from Anthony Albanese and Keir Starmer, the Prime Ministers of Australia and UK. They have gone out and said that, yeah, it will be bad. And of course, it's not my fault. I will do what I can. I will not get involved. And they are talking about tax cut and trying to fix so that they actually can get some fuel. So Trump is losing a lot of allies with this behavior, not asking your allies if they want this war. They just started it, or Israel did, and USA didn't tell them, yeah, good luck with that. So the most worst, I think, is that Spain, Italy and France simply refuse. And then you have UK. UK is of course totally controlled by the Zionists, so they have to do as Israel says, but they can sabotage stuff. Read that book from OSS, former or previous organization before CIA, how you can sabotage meetings, and you can mess up on your airbase and not really be able to take care of these American ships, and you can fill them with the wrong fuel by accident or whatever. There are a lot of things you can do. Trump will speak at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so that's 1 o'clock in Central European time. Now we have summertime at the moment, finally. So that will be interesting what he will say. I assume that he will just say that, yeah, he will threaten Iran, and if they don't do anything, there will be big things on the 6th, and then he will attack on the 4th, because, well, that's what he does. If he is as predictably unpredictable as usual. So it looks bad. Prepare for high fuel prices like forever. But Iran is doing their best to send ships through the Strait of Hormuz. So for example, Malaysia, China, India and Pakistan, they don't have to pay. It's said, we don't know of course, but Iran wants the friendly states to not be affected at all. Of course, when other countries can't import their oil and gas and stuff, then the prices on the market will go up, even though the fuel is going to, India, for example, because other countries will buy up all the fuel that are on the market that otherwise would have gone to, for example, India or China. And that fuel will become more expensive, even though they still get fuel from Iran. They do not get that much fuel, though. There are not the usual traffic, even though some ships are getting through the Strait of Hormuz. The Lebanese army, they are withdrawing, and I mean the governmental army. It's totally useless, and it doesn't fight the invading genocidal army. That's bad, while Hezbollah is actually regaining some ground, according to some reports at least, and 48 IDF soldiers have been wounded. I guess they do not report much about the deaths. I think that way more IDF soldiers have died than is reported. And especially with USA, there comes out a warning from Iran that all Americans that have their children in the Gulf states, they should contact them because they might be dead now because they are covering everything up. Iran is doing something really unique. I haven't heard about this in any history that I know, and that's that they are going after the war profiteers on the other side, as this is a war of choice, than going after the other side's warmongers, so that the warmongers don't feel so warmongery anymore, because they have to pay the price to get their profits, and that's not how it's supposed to work according to the warmongers. So Iran is threatening, for example, Amazon and their Amazon Web Services that now got blown up in Bahrain. So of course that was really expensive. So all these profits you can do by doing data services for CIA and the military, suddenly that goes boom, and then you can't make money on it anymore, and you have to rebuild it. So that's bad for them. And I thought about something that would have been similar is if Germany, when USA had entered the war, or before, I think that it wouldn't make much sense against UK, because they didn't profit from this war at all. They got their empire destroyed. But USA, why not threatening terrorist attacks against the bankers, the media, that might have made Germany look very bad, but I don't think it would have made Germany look worse than the media did. So killing a bunch of them would have made sense, just like Iran is attacking those who, not exactly journalists, but they're other big companies that are doing evil stuff against Iran. Pakistan and China, they have presented a 5 points suggestion or proposal. So these 5 points says that they should, stop firing at each other, make life secure and great in the Persian Gulf, and so on. It does not, none of the points mention USA or Israel. So Pakistan and China, they try to make some deal that, of course, don't involve the ones who are attacking Iran. So that's interesting, and I think it's pointless. Iran will continue to go after Israeli and US assets, but they will not go against Pakistan or China. But if they just suggest stuff that can't be done, well, then they are not very helpful. But maybe we will see. And today's cat video is about cats from the sea. They are called seals, and they can be really funny. So don't miss the seal video for today, and see you tomorrow, unless the world blows up. But we suspect that will happen on Saturday morning instead, if they don't get blown up before that, all the invading soldiers, which I fear that might be also the case.